Over the last 30 years odd, I've been very blessed to work with a very diverse client range. I often use the line from the boardroom to the jailhouse and most points in between. And the one thing I've learnt, because I'm always fascinated about human behaviour, and the one thing I've learnt is this: it's not rocket science. We are so simple and we make it so complex. And throughout this journey of being part of other people's journeys, which obviously is also mine, I've come up with two philosophies. The first one was, if we knew better, we would do better. And worked a lot with people long-term unemployed, and society throws a lot of judgment at someone who's on the dole. Yeah. And for a lot of these people, when you hear their story, when you hear what's happened to them as little toddlers, we know now about intergenerational trauma. We know how it affects the neurology. We know if they don't grow up in a safe, supportive space, they can end up in one or two places, often jail and self-harming. So the philosophy of if we knew better, we would do better, for me, it was about learning to separate the person from their behaviour. For me, person is always 100% okay. Behaviour can suck, technical term, but obviously behaviour is learnt, and we know that in a safe, supportive place, that behaviour can change. And we know this, so that led to my second philosophy: we are all born with innate wisdom. At some level, we know this. So, there'll be some light moments, or the BFO, the blinding flash of the obvious, that we start to, I like that one better, yeah, because you didn't know what I was going to say then, did you, with the F? No. Actually, just on that, many years ago in a training, because are there any trainers or facilitators here? Okay. Often trainers will talk about love and fear, the two primary emotions. And fear has usually been expressed as false evidence appearing real. And someone in a training room said, "Robyn, have you heard the other one?" Innocence here said, "No, what is it?" Can I use the F word? Yeah. Fuck everything and run. Don't you love that? But isn't that what fear is sometimes? Yeah. So the fact that we're all born with innate wisdom, and it wasn't that long ago with our Indigenous people, we were taught this as little kids. We were taught the collective. We had men's business, we had women's business, and we had eldership. And it's the men's business to support the women and the women's business to support the tribe. And somehow, I don't know, Industrial Revolution, whatever, somehow we've lost that innate wisdom. And we know we're now very focused on the outer. That's why partly I had to let go of the advertising career way back in 1984, because I could see what was happening with that whole materialism, and I just couldn't be in it. So throughout this journey back into our innate wisdom, one of the behavioural styles that I always use in my trainings is the DISC behavioural style. Has anyone heard of DISC? Yeah? You might have heard of Myers-Briggs. There's a whole bunch of them. But the DISC. So I love DISC because it's so simple. But what I learnt over the years is, unless you're working with behavioural or personality styles all the time, people forget what the letters stand for. And I thought, you know what, there's got to be another behavioural instrument that actually words what the behaviours are. And because of we're all born with innate wisdom, I started to play around with the WISE word, W.I.S.E. And I'm a big nature kid, and that's where I get all my downloads, when I'm in nature. And so I'm on my walks in 2017, and I'm going, what would the W be? And I went, oh my God, it's got to be the warrior. Has to be the warrior. And in DISC, that's the D. That's the big picture. Don't tell me the problem, give me the solution. It's the person that drives change. I went, that's the I. And I went, oh, investigator, the research person. Dot the I's, cross the T's. So in DISC, that's the C, the cautious thinker. This obviously didn't happen in the one day. It kind of happened for a little bit of time, naturally. And I was talking into my phone as I was doing it, so I wouldn't lose it. And then it was like the S in WISE. Oh my goodness, it had to be the Saviour, didn't it? And not in a biblical way, but the Saviour. It's that part in all of us that is so soft, that is so gentle. And that happens to be the S in DISC. It happens, doesn't it? So the Saviour, and that soft, sensitive part of ourselves. This is the part, I believe, that when we have trauma as a child, it's the Saviour part of us that gets decimated because it is so, so sensitive. And then there's the E in WISE. What do you think the E in WISE would be? Because this is the extrovert, fun person, social influencers. What would the E be? There's a song. The entertainer. Oh my God. So warrior, investigator, saviour, entertainer. We have all four. We tend to have a preference. What these are the 4 WISE leadership styles. Like everything, we have the light and the dark. So a warrior in their, what I call wisdom, would be the way showers in the world. They are the leaders that show people how we can do this together in unison. In their wounding, because I talk about the wounding and the wisdom, in their wounding, they are the wreckers. It's not even a thought for them about collateral damage in obtaining their outcome. The investigator, in their wisdom, they're so informative. They do all the research. They find out everything we need to know to help us be more well educated, to make more informed decisions individually as a collective. In our wounding, they're very invasive. They're the ones that can do fraud so well. They also, because they are just so good at sussing out information, they do blackmail really, really well as well. Yep. The Saviour, in their wisdom, such brilliant support people. They are the team players. They're unhappy when someone in the team is unhappy. When they're in their wounding, they actually forget that they're part of the team and they become self-sacrificing. This is where we get carer burnout. Yep. They're so giving that even when they're just down on the ground, they still go, no, I have to help that person. The Saviour really, really, really needs to remember, back here in their wisdom, keep their own cup filled first, then share excess, which is part of permaculture anyway. It's always share excess. And then the entertainer, in their wisdom, they are so engaging. They're the fun people. They're the ones that, in a meeting, if the meeting is down, they'll crack a joke and just help with that laughter to dissipate the energy. But over here, in their wounding, what do you think they are? It obviously starts with E. Egoic. So they're very egoic. It's all about them. Another phone. So obviously we have all four, and then you put that together with our learning styles, our communication styles. So if you've got a little kid and they're a strong kinesthetic and they're a strong warrior style, they are going to have so much energy. They're going to need to run out in nature and play. Please, can we not sit them down and go mad at them because they won't sit still? When I was in primary school, they nicknamed me Flea. The teacher did. Flea Walker. Because I was always so much energy. And just one last thing, there is a life after menopause. Next truly is when we start to decide, what is my mission? What is my purpose? What am I passionate about? Don't let anything stop you. please, the world needs wise women. We have to have the wise women standing up with the wise men for the sake of our future generations. Thank you.